I had a plan, a detailed plan on becoming happy in about 3 years. It included obtaining a fancy house and a beautiful Porsche, finding the love of my life and a hobby that would bring me joy and make me wealthy. All of these seemed very reasonable dreams to me. I imagined them clearly as pictures in my head. And please let me know in the comments if you have a Pinterest Dream Life mood board. I have a few of them. So I had a very clear understanding of what I want and quite a detailed plan on how to achieve this. And I was working very hard towards my goals in the recent years. Was I happy? Sometimes yes, but generally speaking, I believed in the concept of happiness being a goal, like a final picture while I have everything that I've mentioned before. And the current life was more like a demo version of my real future life. Doesn't that sound awkward? 2 months ago, things changed, and in this video I will tell you about 3 lessons on happiness that I learned from my therapist. So 2 months ago, I had to run from my home country due to the political situation. I stopped running my Russian YouTube channels and stopped doing my freshly created business that seemed very promising to me. My stock investments were frozen, my credit cards were not functioning anymore, and with my last money, I purchased a one-way ticket to Istanbul. That's a huge pivot, man. Luckily, I had the love of my life with me, at least one point from my bucket list, but all of my other dreams were crushing. Many of the first days after leaving my home country, I felt depressed. I felt paranoid and super stressed while sitting in a fancy cafe in Istanbul and sipping my Americano. The decorations around me were super cool though. I had a vibrant city around with tasty food, with a lot of friends there, with my boyfriend together with me, and a very supportive employer who would help me with further relocation and immigration. I decided to have a call with my therapist to somehow help my anxiety. And she asked me a question. What if tomorrow was worse? What would you do today? They usually say, what if tomorrow doesn't exist? Which you don't usually believe, but the exact phrasing of my therapist blew my mind. Tomorrow could be worse. For example, I could lose all the cash that I brought with me. I could easily get kicked out of the country I don't belong to, or I can get fired from my job. Oh, I could imagine that. But instead of fear, I immediately revived the ability of paying attention. I finally felt alive again. And this question helped me to fix the situation in the darkest times during the past 2 months. Lesson 2. Readjusting the picture in your head. 2 months passed. That was fine. I visited and lived for a few weeks in 4 more countries. I went to Cyprus, visited Armenia, then went on a business trip to Berlin and gave my first public talk on a data science conference. And then I arrived to Georgia to get married with my boyfriend. Exactly this monotonous speech I gave last week to my therapist. And she said, "What? How could you even speak about your life like this? Girl, have you even lived through these experiences?" I muttered something like, "Yes, but..." And she asked me about my marriage. And I was like, I imagined him staying on his knee and proposing me to become his wife somewhere in Paris, but in reality, we just were sitting in our kitchen and decided to get married. My therapist asked me more about my dreams and how this marriage should have happened, and I explained with more details. I had a very clear, perfect picture in my head after watching a ton of Cinderella-like movies in my childhood and those beautiful Instagram stories from fancy weddings. My therapist listened and asked me then, could I reword these things and do everything differently? I said no. Then she asked, was my marriage romantic? And I said, yes, it was indeed. But it didn't match my ingrained expectations. And that was the key thing. I understood that something was wrong not with my wedding, but rather with the pictures in my head. Those pictures were not realistic anymore. But still, I couldn't imagine having no pictures in my head at all. And the clue here was simple. You don't have to change the way your perception of the world works. Mine is visual, for example. And what you need to do is to constantly readjust the dream picture to the current circumstances in this ever-changing and chaotic world. The more realistic and near the pictures are, the more your brain is happy and satisfied. And it's not about betraying your dreams. It's about readjusting your dreams to the new reality. Listen, it's super important difference. It's not about settling for the worst, but it's about reinventing your dreams. Now I stopped dreaming of a honeymoon in California because it just won't happen. Instead, I started dreaming of a gorgeous weekend we can spend in the Kazbegi Mountains here in Georgia, together in a beautiful house overlooking the super beautiful valley, just being together, being happy together, cooking good food on a fireplace, seeing the nature. My brain was excited, I was excited, and this happened this weekend. Lesson 3. Practicing gratitude and momentum. Noticing good things is a habit. Not living in the future and being present in this exact moment is a habit, and you can practice them. And I'm not speaking about going to crazy retreats and meditating for 30 minutes in the morning. My therapist advised me on doing 3 simple tasks on a daily basis to adopt these gratitude and momentum habits. First, write down 3 things you are grateful to every day. Second, list all the expectations you had for the day, then strike them through and write, "These are only my expectations." And third, set an alarm clock for every 2 to 3 hours with a question, "How are you feeling now?" And briefly answer it while scanning your body. These habits are super easy to stick to. I started practicing them last week and I can already see the difference. I feel the momentum more. I feel truly more content, and this keeps me going on a daily basis. Am I a happier person right now? Definitely yes. And what helped me is winning the game with my expectations. I hope this video was helpful to you. Please go to a therapist if you feel depressed. It helps recover a lot faster. To support me on this video, you can hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. This will truly help me on my new YouTube journey. Thanks for watching, and I wish you to find your way to happiness.